Now, we're just doing a little video here with Libby Law, just to prove that Libby actually has a home. Because God bless her, we send her around the world. She leaves New Zealand in April. She comes back at the end of October and then over to Adelaide. And, you know, we've just had a fabulous year, Lib, on an Eventful Life. I've just loved every moment. And I thought it'd be fun to chat about what your year has been like this year in 2013.
It's been amazing. It's my third international season, and lucky for me, I'm at the end of my first season over there. 2011 is when I met you in an Eventful Life, and you became a huge part of my life. 2013 has just blown me away. I actually said to Mark Todd during the season, I said, I'm just falling more in love with what I'm doing and getting to know the writers a little bit more every year I go along, whether it's in Europe, the States, Australia and New Zealand. Every year I'm getting to know the writers better through my lens and actually getting the opportunity to meet them, because I do know a lot of the writers through my lens and I may not have met them.
Yeah.
So as I go along I am meeting them, and it's quite funny, because when I do it's like I know them really well, but they've never actually physically met me. So that's hilarious. But yeah.
So tell people, what do you actually do? What does your job entail? Explain, how do you get to an event in your turtle?
So what I do, the first part is I have to contact the event. I have to have a media outlet, which is an Eventful Life, of course, to get me into the events. This is looking at Europe. I can't go to the events there without an outlet for my photos to media. I cannot sell to the writers sometimes for 3 months, sometimes if at all. So I get to the event and really I pinpoint the Australians and the New Zealanders. They are my main writers, and my day revolves around them. So I make sure I capture all of them. And if it's a smaller event which actually has a lot more arenas, I will just shoot around those guys. My images really are just going to New Zealand and Australia for those smaller events in England. The big internationals, which takes up 95% of my calendar over there, I capture everyone, and there's usually 1 or 2 classes. It's very controlled. They are long days, but you've got one arena going at each time, and then of course it just rolls on really nicely. Once shooting's finished, so I could be shooting for up to 10 hours a day. If it's possible, I run backwards and forwards into the media centre, importing and captioning as I go, because it's just frantic. Once the competition's finished and the press conference for the day's over, that's when my work really begins. My adrenaline spikes. I've got images to get out to a lot of places very quickly for press releases. And I love it. The media centre's really quite buzzy, but then it goes really quiet. Everyone's really focused on what they're doing. That's where my passion is, looking at my co-media people and getting the energy off them to do that post-shooting production. That's where it's all at, and you've got to be quick. And once that first lot of images goes out, hopefully within the hour of the competition finishing, I might try and have something to eat, and then I get on to my wider range of photos, which is, of course, the galleries I do for an Eventful Life, which are extensive and they're magnificent, covering high New Zealand and Australian writer content, but also high international candids, taking people into the event and showing them around. So I love my candid, so you feel like you're at the event. And then, of course, the winners. It's not just about the winners. I try and capture, a young person coming up from Poland, maybe, and grabbing them. Like, there's so much I can do that it takes me time, and I want to put time into it, but I've only got 24 hours in the day. So it's a matter of juggling all that. And I get to, getting to the point where you're finished for the day, everything's loaded. And it's anywhere from midnight till 2 or 3 in the morning. And it's like, oh my goodness, I've got to get up at 6, sometimes 3 hours sleep. It seems like a lot. But, the nuts and bolts are getting ironed out for what I'm doing as well, and I will get quicker as I go along. And I get really excited when I look at my photos too, which I love. Not saying all my photos please me, but the expressions I capture on the horses' faces. I'm getting off the subject here a little bit, but it's a true testament to my personality as well. Yeah.
Yes, well, I mean, this year you've done all 6 4 stars, which fabulous feat, and everyone has sort of, seen those 4 stars on Eventful Life through your eyes. It's been great. But have there been any really, special moments? What stands out in the year for you?
There have, definitely, and we were just discussing this before, definitely there was something about Kentucky this year and Andrew and Kimbo winning. I remember doing a little video for Eventful Life, and there was a feeling in the air over there of greatness for Andrew and one of his horses, and I think Kimbo was what people were looking at, and an expectation. And I get a little bit protective of the people I'm getting to know, and I know the
bit of a favourite of yours, isn't he?
He is, and I'm sure if anyone, Andrew can handle that pressure. So, as the event went along, and he obviously did very well in the dressage, and then leading after the cross country, when he came into the show jumping arena, I physically had to put I was so nervous, I was shaking. I had to put my camera on the fence to shoot because that's how much I was shaking. It was quite ridiculous, really, and I had to contain myself when he cantered very leisurely through the finish flags. I had to contain myself because I was so excited, and I think a little bit of that is I have seen Kimbo at 2-star level. I didn't meet him at 1 star, but about 2 years ago. So I've seen him come up through the level, so it's quite exciting. I saw him in the 2-star, then he won Blenheim and Boccolo last year in 3-star, and then he won Kentucky 4-star, and I get a bit personal. So I mean, I love that too, but I do realise that I've got to go, hang on a sec, you know.
Yeah, and then step back a bit, but you've had your moment there, sort of thing. And you've just had a moment at Puanui this weekend where you actually sort of got tattooed by Andrew, having been tattooed by Mark Todd earlier in the year.
Yeah, I did. I thought I'd be a bit cheeky with Mark Todd down at Horse of the Year last year in his fan zone, and I made sure he heard me say I'm going to get him to tattoo two parts of my body, and yes, that got a look of surprise from him, and it was my shoulder blades. Of course, it was my shoulder blades. And then so with Andrew, I said I've got to get him to do it as well, take some photos. So it's just fun, and it's very exciting for me. I truly want his autograph. And Blythe was there as well. So of course Blythe's another of my personal stars when I was riding. They were my heroes, still are my heroes. So I got them to tattoo me on each shoulder blade, and I actually I got a little bit flustered, I did. And Andrew had to tell me to breathe because I think I was starting to hyperventilate. But anyway, and it was all fun. It was fun. It was really special. But a lot of the riders, if I'm in their presence, I feel really privileged to be in their presence, and I feel a great responsibility for what I do to expose them and try and capture the work they put into these amazing horses. And hopefully that will keep me interested, because inspiration as a photographer, you need to keep inspired, because if you're not inspired, I believe that shows through in your photos as well. So I think that's really important in anything anyone does, but for me as a photographer, it's very important for what I do.
It's the same for me. I think they're amazing people. It's just wonderful to interview them and find out what makes them tick, and you really find out that they are really quite special people, because they never give up. The determination, they've got talent, but they've also got something else that's just unique and special. We're very lucky. It's a great sport, and we've had a great year. And it'll start all over again next year, and we're rolling on. So.
And well, that's the other thing. It's a weird year. This year was a gap year. Last year was the Olympics, and this year was full of everyone. Getting qualifications and getting the horses geared up for World Equestrian Games. That's going to come and go, and then you've also got the massive events each side. Then you're going to have the next year, which is going to be the prep year for Rio. So one thing I'm really excited about is it's go, go, go. When you think there's going to be a dip in between the Olympic and World Equestrian Games here, totally opposite. It's almost busier, or it's brilliant. There's something to look forward to always. It's amazing.
Well, there's plenty to look forward to next year. So with our WEG, we had a great time in France this year, didn't we, Lib? It was fabulous.
Yep.
And it's going to be even better next year. So we will leave you here in New Zealand. We're flying out today, but we'll see you on the other side of the world soon.
Excellent. It's been
Thank
so much
you.
fun having you. Thanks, Debbie.
Bye.